Okay, so we're going to have a look at the spod mix that I use now for spodding over zigs. It's really important that you get your spod mix right. Your mix needs to be nice and sloppy, nice and cloudy to try and get those fish searching through the upper layers, so eating literally everything in their paths, Pac-Manning around, and hopefully these ingredients are going to catch us lots of fish today. We start by adding hemp seed into the mix. This is hemp that I've got from CC Moore's as a dry product. I've soaked it for 24 hours and then I've left it on the boil until the kernels start to split and you see the little white seeds coming out there. We're going to start by adding a few spoonfuls of that into our bucket, like so. Really nice and oily as well, the hemp, so when you're spodding it out you'll see that you get a big flat spot appearing on the surface of the lake as we have today. And we really want a nice white cloud when we're spodding. Try and get those fish searching out the different baits, and to do that all I've done is I've taken some of the hemp that we've just put into the mix there, and at home before coming out fishing today I actually put some of that hemp through a liquidizer and it's come out looking like this. You can see it's already nice and gloopy, real stodgy. It's going to make a real nice white cloud. So we're going to add a liberal dosing of the liquidized hemp as well into our mix. Give it all a good mix around. Straight away you can see the mix is turning white now inside the bucket. It's going to help to cloud up that water once it actually leaves the spod. Okay, we're starting to get there now. We've got the base of our mix down, the whole and the liquidized hemp. Then what we're going to add to help the cloud even further is we're going to add some pure white breadcrumbs. Again, great for making the water cloud up. And it's just another one of those items that I always like to have with me if I'm spodding over zigs. So a liberal dosing of that goes in. We're going to mix that around again. It'll thicken your mix up as well. Now as it stands at the moment, the mix is probably a little bit too thick for my liking for leaving the spod. I find when it's this sort of consistency it tends to stick inside the spod, and we want it so that as soon as that spod's landing it's all emptying out, the fish are coming in, banging the spod with their heads to empty any of the remaining bits. So what we're going to do now to just water it down a little bit further is some good evaporated milk available from most superstores. Again, you can see as soon as I take the lid off that, nice creamy and white. It's very sweet as well, quite tasty as well, I must admit. And what we're going to do is just add a whole tin of that into our mix. By giving that a good mix round, it makes our mix a lot more runny again, which is perfect now for spodding out into the middle of the lake. As it stands, that would be an absolutely fantastic mix to spot out over zigs, but there's still a couple of little things that I like to put in to give us just that little edge over everyone else. The first of those is our good old basic sweet corn. Just adds a bright fleck of colour into the mix, and it also gives you a great alternative hook bait to fish with. If you're putting sweet corn out in your spod mix, lots of little flecks of yellow. Today we're using little yellow hook baits on the zigs, bits of trimmed down foam or plastic corn even, and it matches what the fish are feeding on, and I think that's very important. If you were to go and try and stick a 15mm boilie out there on a zig rig when all you're spodding is small seeds and particles, I think you'd be hard pushed to get as many bites as the person fishing next door who's only fishing tiny little hook baits. So give that all a good mix in. It's looking really good now. I don't think there's a carp that swims that could resist this mix, but just to add a final little boost of colour and also activation to our bait, we're going to add a liberal dosing of maggots. Those maggots are going to all wriggle through the water. Some of them are going to be more buoyant than others where they've been soaking in the spod mix as well, taking on water. And there we have our finished mix. You can see there the maggots wriggling around, the yellow flecks of corn, the white cloudy, milky, almost liquid inside of there from the evaporated milk. That's going to get the carp searching through your swim for hours and hours. There's so much attraction and smell and flavour within that any carp that are out in front should not be able to resist this mix that we've got here today. So now our spod mix is finished, it's time to actually go and put some out into the lake. And to do that, I'm going to be using one of the new Gardner bait shuttles. Great bit of kit since I started using these, my favourite spod now. They've just come out, or they should be out by the time you guys are watching this at home. They've got a removable nose cone as well, and inside the spod there's actually a removable sleeve, so that if you're spodding heavier items, you can actually take the sleeve out. Or if, like we're doing today, you're using a nice sloppy mix over your zig rigs, then by putting that sleeve in, it's just going to stop any spod spill coming out of the back. So we're going to attach this to the rod now, get some bait in the water and show you how it works. Okay, so we're spodding out our sloppy mix that we showed you how to make earlier on, and the result has ended up with these two fine fork-lee carp. Typical brace that we've had today. We've had multiple takes in many stages, from spotting the slop accurately over the zig rigs. So get out there and give it a go yourself.